and welcome to the Waffle podcast. My name is Liz Wood. I'm a craft designer living in York in the UK, and this is my podcast where I chat to you about what I've been making and creating over the past few weeks. It is Wednesday the 20-something of July, getting towards the end of July. Yeah, and I am doing another little catch-up episode because I've been away for a while. So last episode I did a catch-up on all the socks I've been creating, and this episode I'm just pretty much doing a standard podcast, but some of the projects I haven't worked on for a while because obviously with the gap in between recording. Puka is with me. Puka, you gonna come and say hello? So yeah, little Puka is with me, again with a different collar on again. Saying hello? She'll no doubt be in and out and bashing my feet and whatnot. But yeah, I've got quite a bit to show you today. Lots of finished objects, including a bonus finished object that I only finished last night. I was due to record this yesterday, but yeah, I finished another pair of socks last night, so there's a bonus finished object. So yeah, yeah, I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to everybody who continues to watch every episode and who likes, subscribes and leave comments. I'm going to make a point of, when I'm editing these now, I'm going to be going into those comments and leaving little hearts and replying where and when I can, answering any questions. So if you do want to leave a comment, please do, and yeah, if you want to subscribe, that would be brilliant too. But yeah, let's just tuck in because there's lots of making things happening here. Don't know how much you can actually see in the camera. I've got most of it hidden off. Okay, so I'm just going to dive straight in with finished objects. There are a few to get through. Not all of these have been knit in the past 2 weeks. As I said, some of them have been knit in the gap. And the first one that I'm going to show you is a blanket. This is the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart. And it was a blanket designed to be used for words. It was a blanket designed for Advent minis, and I think for a while she made it available as a free pattern, which is when I got hold of it. But I decided to use these yarn cakes, and this is the King Cole Curiosity yarn cakes, and I used the colour Creme Brulee, and I used 4 of the cakes to make this big blanket. I decided to do this just literally because I had those cakes in the stash and I wanted to use them up, and I thought 2 would be plenty to make a blanket, but it wasn't, and I ended up buying another couple more just because I wanted a really big blanket, and this is a really big blanket. Lengthwise, it's probably about my wingspan. Yeah, so about 2 meters. That's it in half. And yeah, it's knit diagonally, so you start small, increase, get to where you want and then decrease. And yeah, it's a really relaxing, sorry for the grimace, Puka was coming up on my knee at that point and dug her claws in. It's a really nice, relaxing blanket pattern. It does get a bit tedious when you've got to the point in the middle where you've got 400 million stitches on the needles and you're doing the eyelet rows. And I've made a few mistakes. Sometimes I forgot how many rows it was between eyelet rows and whatnot, but when a project is this big, I don't think anybody is going to notice little things like that. And yeah, I really like it. And now I've shown you, I can actually put it in the blanket box, because I do have a box of handmade blankets because I'm that person. I just like blankets. It's the middle of summer and I still sit with a blanket on my knee most mornings. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see the progress on blankets I am making. Yes. So that is the first of the finished objects. Wiggly Kitten. And I will show you some socks next. Okay, I'm going to show you the first pair because I love these. These were knit for my mum. Let me get them in so you can see them in all their glory. This pattern is the Rainbow Connection sock pattern by Kay Linton, I think, who is a crazy sock lady on Instagram, and she also has a podcast. And it's a really clever pattern that uses slip stitches and either self-striping or, in this case, mini skeins to give you this design which sort of stripes naturally at the back and then gives you a vertical stripe down the front. This was knit on, I knit most of my socks magic loop, I don't know if I say that. But yeah, it's 64 stitches, it's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to give anything about that away. But I used a Cascade Heritage in like quite a dark Kingfisher tealy blue colour, and then this pack of minis is the Kingfisher set by Rhapsody yarn, and it comes as a 10 pack. I think it's 10 gram mini skeins, and yeah, I got Mum to pick out some yarn that she wanted, and she really wanted this mini set, so I was kind of hoping she'd go for a 100 gram ball of yarn so it would be easy to knit socks, but she went for mini skeins, and so there was many ends to weave in, which I don't think has actually been done yet. No, it hasn't. But yeah, and I'm glad she picked that, because I maybe wouldn't have chosen it for this pair of socks, even though I was really itching to knit this pair of socks, and I'm really glad that I did, because I absolutely love these socks. And there is enough in the 10 grams left to knit a square on my mitered square blanket, and I could even knit another pair of socks. It takes so little of a mini skein to knit these socks. If you're using a pack, if you're just using one mini skein, then you're probably going to need a couple. I'm blabbering today, but yeah, the Rainbow Connection socks. I have such an addiction to this pattern now. I'll probably talk about it a little bit more in a minute, because I have cast on another pair of Rainbow Connection socks, so I'll talk about that in whips. But I should take these off the blockers, because I have another pair to go put on. Yeah, so my next finished object is a bonus finished object that wouldn't have been here if I had... Sorry for bashing, Cal's found a fly. Yes, my next finished object is a bonus finished object. I was due to record yesterday, and due to weird light and noise, and it just didn't become a day that filming was going to happen, so I just sat and watched Penny Dreadful on Now TV and knit on a sock, and it is these socks. These are the Whispers in the Wall socks. This is my second pair using this pattern. It's patterned by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. Sorry if you're wobbling slightly. There is a puka under the tripod. Yeah, so I showed these on the sock special last time, and I had knit this first one with the blue heel and toe, and I asked your opinion on what I should do because I'd run out of this blue, and you all pretty much said go for the coral. So that's what I've done, and I'm really, really pleased you chose that, because I absolutely love these as a pair of finished socks. It just, both contrast colours pick out pops in the main colour, and this main colour is by Ducky Darling's yarns, and it was one of her monthly club yarns, and I think it was called Fee Fi Fo Farm. I know it was the first one that she did, but I mean, if I get it up close you can see. It's just so pretty. It's got these pops of corally orange and deeper blue, but it sort of reminds me of sea glass, this colour. It's just so beautiful. And these socks will be for me if Mum's watching and eyeing them up. She got a pair of Whisperers in the Wall socks. She got the pink ones. Oh, sorry, words. She got the pink ones I showed last time. So yeah, these ones are definitely for me. But yeah, this pattern, I have been looking for this pattern, I feel like, for ages, because I enjoy knitting socks a lot, but I feel I end up with a lot of vanilla plain socks, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially for self-striping yarn. I absolutely love them. But I really wanted pattern socks, but every time I cast on a pair they would just stall, and yeah. So this pattern, which is lace, it's just so simple. These knit so fast. I knit the whole of this sock yesterday. I think I had a little tiny bit of the cuff cast on, but that was it. Just so easy, just completely whiz through them. The lace is easy to remember. It's a 12 row repeat, but it's similar rows, so as long as you know which row you're on, it's really, really easy. And there's no cable needle required or anything like that. It's just absolute joy. This certainly is not the last pair of Whispers in the Walls I will be making. The only adaptation, oh yeah, I did make a few changes to the pattern. It has a decoration down the back of the leg, which I haven't done on either pair that I've knit, and on this pair I did a short row heel and I did a wedge toe, which is different to the pattern. So pretty much what I did with this sock is I took the pattern design from the front and I just plugged it into my vanilla sock recipe pattern, and it worked really well, and I just absolutely love these. Really love them. Yeah, so that is finished object number 3. There is another pair of finished socks, but I will save them until after I've talked about the next thing, just because it's a design and it's exciting. Sorry, we've lost a bit of light, so if it's going a bit dark and light, I do apologise. Okay, so the next finished object has been off the needles for a while, but I haven't had a chance to show. Yeah, this is the Hallis hat. Pattern details on the screen below. This was actually a pattern recommendation by a viewer of the podcast, Rose. Hi, Rose. Yeah, I sent a shout out saying if anyone has any recommendations for hat patterns, please let me know, and she recommended this, which is the Hallis hat. It is, I don't know if I've already said, but yeah, the yarn is Rhapsody yarn. It's a DK, and it's like this mauvey sort of purpley colours with browns and orange and black specks. It's just gorgeous, and the pattern is pretty much just like a fisherman's rib with cables, and it's asymmetric, and there's a bit of slouch, and of course I'm going to put it on. Of course I am. I'm not that podcaster who cares about messing up my hair or looking silly. There you go. What do you think? I love it. I definitely love it. I'm really tempted to knit another one of these. I've got a ball of Stranded Dye Works in the Tabby Cat colourway. Just, I had to get it because it looks exactly like Cassie. Well, Cal and Cassie, because they're the same colour. And yeah, I'm really tempted to knit the same hat in that. But yeah, oh, I love it. It's such a good fit because it's nice and tight around the brim, but then it's warm because of the fisherman's rib, and then you've got this really nice slouch that properly slouches. Puka's looking at me like I'm completely stupid. You can't actually see the look on her face, but I don't care. Yeah. Oh, I love this. Excuse me while I just preen in the camera for a bit. I actually like this colour. More and more, you know, wearing it, I realise it's actually not too warm either. I'm sure it will keep out like the winter winds and whatnot, but I mean, it could be worn on a warmish autumn evening. Hat season is coming, and I will be wearing all the hats. Frizzy hair moment. Yeah, so thank you again, Rose, for recommending this pattern. I really did enjoy knitting it, every bit of it. Yeah, and I probably will cast on another one of these really soon, because I also think these would make really good gift knits. And it would also look really nice in neutrals, never mind just sort of tonals and speckles like this. Yeah, really good knit. Really recommend this pattern. A joy to knit, and such a lovely finished hat. Yay! Puka was sitting in this windowsill staring at me like a fool, but settled down as if she was going to watch the rest of the podcast, and I thought, well, if she's going to do that, she can sit on the sofa. She probably won't stay there, but we've got her for a while, so let's enjoy. But yeah, I was talking about the Hallis hat, and I love it. Yeah. Every time I pick up projects when I'm doing a podcast, it kind of changes my knitting style for the next week. And yeah, I pick up things I'm like, ooh, I want to cast that off on next. Yay. But yes, I don't have any other hats on the needles at the moment, so I need more hats on the needles. Definitely need more hats. So while I itch. Okay, final finished object for this week, and it is my new design. My socks. I showed these off on the sock special. These are a knitting pattern that I will be releasing very soon. It's currently out with testers. I'm going to bring them in nice and close so you can have a look. And I've come up with a name. I've decided to call these the dimension socks because of this sort of square pattern it looks kind of 3D, so I thought dimensions worked pretty well. Yeah, I just absolutely love these. It was a design that was in my head for a long time, and now they're here and they are out with testers. This pair I have knit using a, I think it's Rum Paradise. West Yorkshire Spinners is the rainbow colour, and Luna Rock in the Cascade Heritage. And yeah, they just work really perfectly. So hopefully by the next episode this pattern will be released. Give a lovely big close-up. Sorry for wobbling. Puka has of course decided to go behind the camera. Yeah, hopefully this will be out next episode. Or at least I'll have a release date next episode. I don't know how testers are getting on. And if you heard that noise, it was my head falling off. Not my actual head. My second head. Second head. I just put my head on the floor. Yes, so have a if you want to, words. Yes, so hopefully really soon this pattern will be out. It's a relatively simple colourwork pattern. I designed it to have no long floats, so there's no twisting in your yarn or anything like that. It's really comfortable to work, and it fits really nice. I've got to do a photo shoot of these soon. But yeah, so yeah. There is two. They are definitely a finished pair, and I think I'm going to work on some mitts using the same design fairly soon. So yeah, so that'll be another finished object. So that is 1, 2, 3, 5 finished objects this week. Although, as I said, technically not just this week, although 3 of them were finished this week. So yeah, we move on to works in progress, and obviously the elephant in the room is my Cozy Memories blanket, which is here. I haven't done an update on this for a while, but if you follow me on Instagram, I do an update on it every Sunday. I do a big flat lay and you can see it coming together. And I know a lot of people have really enjoyed, like, literally seeing the blanket sort of grow to fit together and become a big square. So as I'm talking about that, I might as well show it now. Mainly because it means I can disappear behind it for a while. It's quite heavy. It is very close to being done. I think the last time I showed it I was halfway there. I don't know what episode that was. But yeah, I think I was halfway there. But what with lockdown and being at home all the time, I'm doing at least 2 squares a day. So I'm going to go half. If I can show, like, so that's half. So it's about 2 meters square, or will be when it's finished. Most of the ends are woven in, apart from the ones around the edge, because they will be woven into the border, because I'm going to do a border around it. So yeah, we'll just dig in. We'll get this out. So yeah, you can see here that I have needles attached. I don't know if you can. Needles attached. I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I'm just gonna hide underneath this and give you a proper good look at it. It is huge. It is wonderful. And it goes on and on and on, like just forever. This is where I mess up my hair again. Now officially a Cozy Memory blanket ghost. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. Hair must drop again. So I started this on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December last year, and it's the first thing I knit on every single day. I think there is only one day where I haven't knit on it in the past sort of 7 months. And that was because I was at work really early and didn't get up early enough to get a square done. And I had decided when I started this that I was going to alternate colour blocks and grey blocks, which is what I've done. and I think nearly all of my favourite hand dyers are in here, and I've dyed up some yarn for it as well. And what I do, I'm using 2.5mm needles, and the square is 46 stitches, so 23 on either side before you start decreasing. And every morning I come to it, and it's usually like this. So the needles are attached and I have started a square. So every morning I finish this square and then I will pick up another one, because the last thing I want to do when I pick this up to start working on it is to pick up a square. Not that picking up a square is by any way hard, it's really easy, but it's not what I want to do first thing in the morning. I just want to pick it up and start knitting on it, so that's why I do that. I always leave it, I've picked up a square and I've worked a few rows on it, and that's where I leave it until the next day to pick it back up again. And what I don't think you can probably see is the way this patterns. So I have arranged the decreases in the centre so that they radiate out. Okay, Puka has chosen this moment to sit on my knee. Good plan. So if I can find the centre, I don't know if you can see. That's not the centre. Okay, this is the centre here. This is the centre. So I don't know if you can see the fact that the squares, the ridge does its own design. So as well as it being all the squares, the ridges are doing a design as well. That might sound not quite right, but... And yeah, so I am at the final corner and I have only got, I think, and then proceeds to count. 1, 2, 3. So I've got this one to finish and then six squares to do. So next time you see this, it will be completely finished, and I will definitely have cast on another one, because knitting a square every morning is just part of my routine now, and so as soon as this is finished I will be starting another one. And I thought what I might do, because I just thought it might be quite fun, is I might film that process and put it up as a little tutorial just on how to do the first 4 squares, joining them together, and how, you know, so how to pick up, and just those sort of little tips that I have found while doing this make it easier. So yeah, I thought I'd do that when I finish this and start my next one. I will film those first 4 squares and how to get on doing that, and then might inspire some of you to make your own blankets. It seems very what's the word? Thank you, Puka. You're gonna sneeze. Oh dear. Yeah, so if it inspires people to make their own blanket, because I know it can be quite intimidating, the idea of making this huge thing that's not going to be finished for a whole year, or if you even get it done in a year. But I think the little tips that I've had, the, you know, not having that sort of roadblock of having to pick up a square at first thing in the morning, and I mean, I know I'm lucky because I don't have those sort of things that call on my time in the morning other than the cats. So yeah, I'm lucky in certain ways that I have the time to work on this. But yeah, it is huge. I don't know if you can see the weight of this. And next time it will be finished. It is so lovely. It's so lovely. And it's the perfect amount of warmth. That's one of the lovely things about wool, because even in summer, it's like, it feels cool enough. I just created it. It makes me so happy. Okay, so now I'm in a bit of a tangle. Right, next work in progress is a sock, and I'm only doing this now just because it's here and it's not in a project bag. And also, look at the pretty. Look how pretty it is. This is the double rainbow colourway by the Yarn Badger. Oop, focus. Turning. And this is a brand new colourway by the Yarn Badger. She had it in her shop update on Sunday, I think it was. And I was literally hovering over the buy button waiting for that, waiting for it to come into the shop. As soon as she shared a picture on Instagram, I was like, I'm gonna have to have that. Yeah, so big treat, but self-striping yarn has a massive place in my heart. If you're a regular viewer, you know that. It is what I want to be dyeing, what I want to be making, so I admire the other people that are dyeing it so much, and Liz of the Yarn Badger does colourways that I couldn't even think of. She's just, her subtlety with colour is just beautiful. And anyway, yes, so it arrived yesterday, which was Tuesday, and I cast it on straight away. And so this is a double rainbow colour. She did sell out, she sold out pretty quickly, and yeah, I think she's got it up for pre-orders now, so if you want one, go grab it on pre-order. And it's a double rainbow, so you've got a light and dark of every colour of the rainbow. It's so pretty. And yeah, after I finished those Whispers in the Wall socks, I cast this on, just to sit and knit. And other than that, it's on 2.25mm needles. I do most of my socks, if not all my socks, on Magic Loop at the moment. And I am using these Knit Pro Novas, are they? Why am I asking a room? Yeah, the Knit Pro Novas, because they are not very sharp. I do a lot of sock knitting. Don't say that fast and it can come out as a swear word. I do a lot of sock knitting, as you can probably tell by the amount of things I'm working on. I love the higher. That's random noises, just blame a cat. Puka is in here causing mild destruction, but it's fine. Yeah, I used to really love the higher fixed circulars for socks, but I was forever getting holes in my fingers because of the way that I push the needles down. Then I tried doing the Chalgu, and I love the Chalgu needles, but I just didn't get on with them for socks. And actually these, they're quite cheap and cheerful, are these Knit Pro Novas. I think I've got about 4 or 5 pairs of them now. They just are great. The cable can sometimes get in the way, but if you're working, as you're working away, it just gets where you want it to be and it's fine. And yeah, they don't stab me. Sometimes I can get mild injuries because you're not really supposed to knit a full sock in a day, and if you do, you can get calluses on your fingers. But yeah, beautiful rainbow socks. The light's just hitting those now and they're just like, ooh. There you go, enjoy. Sorry for the wobbles. Puka, will you come here please? Oh no, I'm out of cable ties. I found a pencil. I might keep her entertained for a bit. Okay, more works in progress. I'll talk about that one in a minute, but I'll show this one because it's been on here before. So the next work in progress is my Jigshawl, which is a pattern by Stephen West. It is a mahoosive shawl made up of pieces that are seamed together, and they're all seamed as you are working them, as you are knitting them. And it is pretty much a mild project. The wobbling. If the wobbling is annoying you, I do apologise. I chose I chose to go for this sort of blues and purple palettes just because I had some yarns already balled up that I wanted to use, and the other ones that I had sort of tied in quite nicely with it. I have finished the shawl bar the edging. It is huge. It does have also little panels where it has floof, so it has mohair held with fingering weight, and all the panels you're holding 2 fingering weights together. And yeah, it's like a, well, it's a jigsaw puzzle, but a jigsaw puzzle. And if you don't say both of those words right, it somehow makes it sound like it's meant to be. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so it is finished bar the edging. I'll show you what it's going to look like on, which is pretty much just the warmest, fluffiest, crazy. So yeah, it's big and it's squishy, and there's a fly, and Puka is going insane, and I will turn the camera slightly so you can witness the insanity. Have you eaten it? Have you got it? Sorry if the camera's gone a bit weird. But yeah, it's so warm. Far too warm for July. But also, I mean, it's huge, so this is going to be a fab cover-up. But the edging is a I-cord edging, so I need to pick up literally all around. I think some stitches are still on needle. I thought there was a needle holder somewhere in here. Maybe not. No, doesn't look like there is. Yeah, so I just need to pick up all around this thing and do an I-cord edging. So I need an afternoon where I have nothing else to do, and that will be done, and then weave in all the ends and it is finished. And this might end up being gifted, just because it's lovely. Sorry if there's bashing. There's the fly it's not been eaten yet, and right, I'm back. I saved the fly. Puka did not eat it. I let it out the window. Drama! Can't cope. And now I've got knitting everywhere. Yeah, you don't come here for polished podcasts. You come here for cat interrupted mayhem. And that is what you get. Okay, next object is something you haven't seen, and it's rather massive, so sorry you haven't seen it before yet. Although I did knit this fairly speedily and then stopped knitting on it. I decided that I wanted a cardigan to wear pretty much like a dressing gown. So I've been reading a lot more, and I tend to sit in bed and read, and sometimes it's just a little bit chilly. And I thought having a cardigan might be a nice idea, and I hadn't knit a cardigan, and I didn't know whether the pearl rose would put me off knitting a garment, because every other garment I've knit in the round. So I thought I'd try and see how I get on. Anyway, don't have a problem with pearl rose, quite fine with them. But also, I decided to knit the Harvest cardigan. I just wanted something really simple, and the Harvest pattern is by Tin Can Knits. You start with this garter strip, then you pick up and increase, and you work the band and everything, and you go. So it's top down, and you work it all as you go from that garter edge. So it's really simple. And what I'm doing is I'm holding together a magic knot ball of random bits and bobs of yarn leftovers from my mitered square blanket, and a sort of, can you see, it's quite floofy, It's an alpaca yarn. It's a drops one. It's only cheap and cheerful, but it's lovely and floofy and super soft. And I'm holding those together and just letting whatever happens happen, because I thought this doesn't have to be the most elegant of garments. It is only going to be seen pretty much by me and the cats. So it can be bonkers, and I'm quite happy with that. So, and it also will have ends that won't be woven in, that'll probably just get matted in time with various washing and stuff. And yeah, I've done no colour management whatsoever, but what I have done is I have knit the body. So I've knit all the way down the body, and it ends just with garter rows. It really is the most simple of patterns, and it's just all marled. But actually, to say it's all these lovely colours that are in my blanket, it's not that crazy. I don't think, anyway. I genuinely quite love it. I know my mum loves it and is itching for one of her own as well, but she might have to wait a while until I get another magic knot ball quite the size. And then the only management I am doing is when it comes to the sleeves. So I am pretty much done on the first sleeve. I think I've got another couple of inches and then the cuff to do. I'm leaving them, I haven't done quite as many decreases as the pattern says, just because, again, want it cozy in bed, don't want tight arms, no thank you. Yeah, so the only thing I did is I made magic knot balls for the sleeves that matched, because I mean that might just be my particular brand of crazy, but I can cope with all this chaos, but I don't like sleeves that don't match. I don't know. That's my crazy there, right there. But they won't match perfectly because it still is a magic knot ball that's been marled, so they won't match perfectly, but they'll match enough that I'll be happy about it. So yeah, so it's just been a couple of days since I've actually picked this up, and really if I cracked on with it I could get it finished fairly sharply, which would be nice because the chilly nights will start coming in. And yeah, it needs to be blocked because it's a bit wibbly and whatnot, but it's really nice, it's really lovely. So hopefully if I actually get to working on this, this might be a finished object next time around. So there'll be two big massive finished objects, because this might be finished, I'm not saying will, and my mitred square blanket will be finished. Might be finished. Yeah, that will be finished, apart from the border. So yeah, that's another big thing. Okay. A box of socks. Right, final few works in progress. I'm hoping there isn't too many, although I know I've got a fair few socks on the needle still. And what I am going to need is the sock blockers. So I will get rid of my lovely socks. Quick second flash just because I love this so much. Woo. Yeah, and they can unceremoniously come off the blockers and one of these can go on. So this is another pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and this is the Nutkin pattern. I'll show you. And it is another patterned sock. I've knit this in another club colourway from Ducky Darlings. This was the Gingerbread Man colourway, and it was a sock set which came with this brown as well, and it's just beautiful. I'll get as close as I can there. And this pattern is quite similar to the Whispers in the Wall pattern. You've got two bands of lace at either side, and then some twisted stitches and twisted stitches in the back as well. Yeah, I really enjoy it. And I think it was a 10-gram mini that came with the set, so I've just put it in for the heels. And yeah, I really like that. I think it was something like Gingerbread Crumble or something. It was definitely Crumble in the name. I'm sure Hayley will tell me. But yeah, love this yarn. I'm really enjoying knitting up these socks with this club yarn from Ducky Darlings. It's just beautiful yarn, and I think it works really well, because even though it is a pattern, it is a textured sock, so to speak. If I just put my, let's do sock puppet time again. Yeah, you could see it probably more clearly there, the pattern. So it's lacework either side, and you've got these twisted stitches, rib in the middle. I think this is a 5-row repeat, this pattern, and even with it being a short repeat, it's not my favourite. I still prefer the whispers in the walls, but I will make this again, definitely. And I did a slightly modified toe. She has the cottage toe in the pattern, and I just put in my standard wedge toe again, just because once it gets to the toe, I don't really want to have to think all that much. So I just use the toe that I'm used to. And yeah, it's really pretty. But again, same needle size, 2.25. It's just another one. And I think the second one is on the needles. Yeah, it's literally just cast on, that's all. It's cast on, but no more than that. But yeah, I'll show you this. This is beautiful yarn. Look at that. That is one of the things about Hallis yarns in particular. She has this way of doing these washes of colour and adding in speckles that just every time I see her yarn, I'm just like, how did you do that? It's so pretty. Yes. So that is another sock. I think we have more socks on the needles. What's in this bag? Another sock that requires a sock blocker. Yeah, I'm not joking when I say I'm all about knitting socks at the moment. I'm loving it, and I'm loving the fact that I'm able to knit pattern socks as easily as I have been knitting vanilla socks in the past. You see that hint of neon there? Wow, that pops. Yes. This is another ball of yarn. This is a colourway again by Rhapsody Yarn, and it was a colourway inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was pretty sure it was going to micro stripe. I did show it on the podcast, I think, in acquisitions when I got it, and it's one of those skeins that's got one colour twisted with another. Can show you. This is some of mine. So yeah, if you see a skein like this, there is every chance it is going to micro stripe. This is my, oh, I can't remember what the colourway name was called, but I have a few skeins of this in my Etsy shop. All the details will be there. Yeah, you can be pretty sure it's going to micro stripe, and that can sometimes lead to pooling a little bit, which, if you remember last time, I showed you the purple socks that pooled. Hang on, while I destroy my backdrop. Yes, Helen, these are all socks behind me. Helen left a comment last time going, are they all socks behind you? Yes, but they've been pilfered by Mum. She took about 3 pairs. Yeah, sometimes you can get this pooling effect, and I wanted to avoid that. So I really wanted to start knitting with this yarn because I'd had it balled up and I put a square in the blanket. But I wanted to add in some pattern to avoid that pooling, and so I have used this pattern. It's called the Traffic Island Socks pattern, but I've just done it on the front of the sock, and it gives you this sort of chevron type effect, which I think works really well with a micro striping. And so we have no pooling. Isn't that awesome? So this is incredibly bright neon yellow, toe and heel, other way around, you know what I mean. And that picks out the bright neon in here, and then it's purples and greens and whatnot. But yeah, other than that, all the same. Knit Magic Loop, 2.25 needles, and one is done. The other one is not cast on yet. But yeah, if you want really bright. This is Coop Knits in the Socks Yay, which I bought a couple of colourways because I'm thinking of this bright neon for the Dimension Socks mitts. I think that might be quite nice. And that is all the beautiful colours. So that is another sock. And I don't think we're finished with socks yet. Okay, I've got one more sock. Yep, I have one more sock. And this is another of the Rainbow Connection socks, which again is a pattern by Kay Linton, the Crazy Sock Lady. And this one I have done in this sort of buttercup yellow colourway. And I've again used a mini pack. This one is by Siobhan's Crafts and it's her Retro Sweets colourway. So yeah, again it's stripes at the back and you get these vertical stripes down the front. It just gives it such a lovely texture. Got a hair on it there. So yeah, this is another pattern that I'm just like, I have mini skein sets and I want to turn all the mini skein sets into a pair of these socks. I've got a dinosaur pack of minis from Siobhan's Crafts that I really desperately, I just need dinosaur socks, that's all. I need dinosaur socks. These are sweetie socks and they are lovely and will probably be a Christmas present, even though they're like the brightest, summeriest, lovely socks. They can still be a Christmas present, I think. But yeah, I have cast on the second one, but again, I've literally just cast on the rib. This is something I do to prevent sort of second sock syndrome, difficult to say. As soon as I have finished a sock, I will cast it on the second one. But then even though I have multiple sock projects on the go, because it's cast on, at any point I can pick that up and start knitting on it. And I don't have to sort of be like, oh, I've got to start that second sock. It's already cast on. So that sort of is a hurdle for me, is the casting on. If I hadn't have cast on, it may then stall until I knit the second one. But because it's there and ready to go, if I just fancy something different and I just pick it up, it goes really quickly. Okay, so I need to speed up slightly because my battery is draining again. It's probably because I was filming some stuff the other day. Okay, so last thing to talk about is another bit of colour work. I'm going to put these on the wrong way round just because it makes it easier for me to show you if they are on my right hand. And obviously I've only knit one of these. And just like I was just saying about the socks, I didn't cast this second pair, the second one of this pair on. And so I haven't picked it up for a couple of weeks to knit, and you know, I haven't started the second one. But one is done. And these are the Kitten Moon Mitts. Pattern details will be on the screen. And this actually was a pattern that was gifted to me by Rose, who I mentioned before, who suggested the Hallis pattern, and she gifted me this when Puka came home. And yeah, I mean, they are just the most adorable mitts ever. And obviously this is on the wrong hand, so I'm showing you my palm, but I just thought it'd be easier. And there. So I picked a speckled, very light grey to be the cat and, well, the contrast colour, because I thought it would look a bit like Puka and then a bit like the craters in the moon, and I think that works pretty well. And yeah, the back is just sort of one by one. It's really nice. And yeah, I really like these. I used, what did I use? So it's an opal is the navy, and this is the sort of like moon type colour, which was just, I actually got this from a dyer off eBay, which started a whole new can of worms I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Yeah, just really pretty, and hopefully now that I've sort of seen these and been like, I need to get these finished, I will get this done, because I really enjoyed knitting them the first time, and I think it only took me like 2 days to knit this. It's so cute. It does have some long floats here, which is not my favourite thing to do in colour work, but I coped. I think the fact that the yarn is quite sort of speckledy somewhat makes it look like it's more puckered than it is. but it's not. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So they're the Kitten moon mitts, and I need to cast on the second one so I can actually start working on it. And that is all my works in progress. So, quick as a flash, I have some acquisitions, and as I just mentioned about eBay, I have been started. I have started keeping an eye on the hand-dyed yarn search on eBay, just because a lot of people do sort of stash clearances and what on there, and I picked up a couple of bargains that I thought I'd share. And these are all ones that I've bought from stash clearances on eBay. And yeah, shall we dive in? Okay, some of these I'm like so desperate to show you because I want to ball them up and cast them on right away. And the first one is going to be, this is going to be wound up as when I'm editing this, because I just want to see how this knits up. Isn't it the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? It's hedgerow yarns. I've never had hedgerow yarn before. It's a tweedy base. Oh, excuse me. It's a tweedy base. It's a one of a kind. So it doesn't have a name. But I just saw that and I was like, oh, yes please, yes please. The person who was selling this was also selling a load of Bakery Bears yarn, but I wasn't lucky enough to get any of that, although I did bid on all of it. She had some Christmas colourways. I need Bakery Bears Christmas socks. But I'm not complaining. I got this. It's beautiful. Hedgerow yarn. The other one I picked up that came in a bit of a bundle. So these three yarns came together. And one of them is a Malabrigo. For people who couldn't... So yeah, one of them is a Malabrigo sock. Malabrigo is the yarn brand that I couldn't remember last week. Malabrigo. I think I nearly got it. And this colour is wobbling. Puka. Yeah, this is the Abriel colourway. Is that focusing? Yeah, so this is the Abriel colourway and it's Malabrigo. And I'm not 100% sure what I will do with this, and to be honest it wasn't the main reason I went for this bundle, but I'm happy to have it. Even if it goes, if it doesn't get used, it will go and be a prize or a swap, something like that. But these two I could not resist. This one is by Woolly Mama Yarns and is all the brightness in the world. It is beautiful. Woolly Mama Yarns, I got a mini set from, the Cosmic Fruits one that my Rose City Rollers from the sock special were knitting. And this is just like bright neons and speckles. And I think part of me is like, oh, this would make a really nice pair of Rainbow Connection socks if it was with like a black or a navy. That would be really cool. I'm sorry if you're wobbling slightly. Puka is again under the tripod. She's refusing to be on camera today, but she's just going to be where you will feel her presence more than see her presence. But yeah, so this colourway is called Candy Skull. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty cool name. So yeah, really nice and bright and fab. But the main reason I went for this set of three was because of this yarn, which is a Lola Did It yarn. And this is in the colourway Knitting Friends Are the Best Friends, which is an old colourway by Lola Did It, but again this is just a stash. You know, someone was... what's the right word? Yeah, someone was selling it off from their stash, but I thought that is a very nice colourway. It's a sort of greeny, beigey, pinky with purpley, bluey spots of. But yeah, if you know my taste, you know this was right up my alley. It would probably go pretty well with the Mudbound, which is one of my favourite colourways. Yeah, it does actually, doesn't it? Yeah, this is one of my favourite colourways of all time, which is Mudbound by Black Elephant. And I pretty much think everything will go with this colourway, pretty much because it does. And just because I could knit it endlessly, but I only have one skein left at the moment. Yes, so then the last two that I got are actually Stranded Dyeworks yarn, which I am super chuffed I found these. And I have a single base in her Botanical colourway, which is lots of lovely light greens. Really pretty. Really nice. So that, with being a single, it'll probably get used in a shawl at some point. And then the other one I got is her Industrial Kingfisher colourway. Gosh, I've been after this for a long time. This is so pretty. I have a feeling that as soon as I say it's a Kingfisher colourway, Mum's ears will prick up and she'll be after some socks in this. It is a cashmere fingering, a superwash merino nylon, words. Yeah, this is an 80-10-10 as well. It's a merino nylon cashmere, and oh, it feels yummy. So this is definitely going to be socks, and this is another one that I might have to cast this on like now. It's just so pretty. Yep. So these two are going to be cast on for socks, I think. Now, I'll be winding these two up while I'm editing. So if editing Liz gives a wave, she'll be winding these. And that'll be really nice. So yeah, new works in progress hopefully with these two next week, and some more finished objects. And I'll keep you posted about the Dimension socks, they'll be out soon. Other than that, if you want to follow me online, you know where to find me now, it's all there. Please subscribe to this channel. Every subscription, every comment, every thumbs up helps. It just spreads it for other people. And that's all great. And you can find my Etsy shop. I think those details are up there too. I also have a Ko-fi account. Details will be on the screen if you want to help support this podcast. Yep, I still have a bit of yarn in my Etsy shop, as I was showing before. I'm being attacked by things. Yeah, there is still some yarn in my Etsy shop. Not a lot, but I have some pretty fun colourways and some DK as well, which is really nice. Although looking at that, I'm like, that would make a really nice Hallis hat. But yeah. As the battery light is flashing at me, I'm not going to stick around for a lot of chatter today. I think this episode might be pretty long anyway. Yeah, I will be back in a couple of weeks with hopefully a new design released and more fun stuff to show you. And in the meantime, there might be some tutorials coming up on this channel. So stay tuned and subscribe for those if you're interested. But yeah, I think that's everything for today. Before the battery starts getting angry and red, I will say bye-bye. Sorry about all the wobbling, and I'll see you next time. Bye!